Hey there folks, and welcome back for another sofa session. And today's sofa session is about the sky is falling. And by that I mean there were 3 artisan soap makers who stopped making soap recently. And I've seen all kinds of articles and speculation, because that's really what it is, as to why this is happening and that the market is being oversaturated and all these sort of things, all based on speculation. The first thing you have to consider, and this is something that I don't think a lot of folks considered, maybe these folks didn't close up shop or suspend operations because of sales. Did we even consider that? Number 2, some of these artisans are not full-time soap makers. They have full-time careers, they go to school, they have families, and at least one of them is just simply exhausted. He just simply cannot keep pace, suspended his operation. But no one in their articles or in their pieces are talking about any of this. It's all, there's too many products out there, the buy sell trade is hurting, the artisans, etc. We'll get to that in a moment. So what we're doing is we're speculating, and we don't even know why these soap makers stopped making soap to begin with. Most people don't. At least 2 of them I know have other obligations. One of them, I believe, had a new child. One of them was working a full-time career job and trying to, every minute was spent making soap, and that's no kind of life. So when you think about a business suspending its operation, don't assume it went under. That is to say, it couldn't sustain itself because of sales, because that very much, or very possibly, I should say, may not be the case. And this is something that no one seems to be touching on. Second thing, oversaturation. And what other, we're consumers, first of all. That's something that I think we have to consider. We are consumers. I know we are friendly with some of the artisans, and we are perhaps friends with some of the artisans. But we are consumers. We buy these products. That's another thing I think people fail to understand. Competition is good for us. It forces the artisans to step the game up, keeps costs in check for the most part, and it just provides us with a lot of options. When have you ever heard anyone, any reasonable person, complain about options? Never. Only in this hobby have I heard anyone complain about, there's too many. I mean, because in any other business, having options is a great thing. And for whatever reason, in this hobby, you'll have those that come out and go, there's just too many. Well, you don't have to buy from all. You can buy from the ones you really enjoy. So the argument that there's too many, it doesn't hold water with me, because people will buy what they want to buy. If they buy something and it's not good, they won't buy it again. They'll move on. So I don't buy the argument that it's oversaturated. BST, let's get to that. Oh, let me step back actually before I get to BST. What a lot of people are also failing to mention is that this hobby is growing every single day. What is the rate of growth? Impossible for me to quantify. What is the rate of growth of artisans? Possible for me to quantify, because I don't know. And you don't know. And the people writing the pieces don't know. But I do know for a fact that this hobby grows, because I get emails every day. Our group memberships and forums increase every single day. They're going up, not down. So as the artisans, new ones pop up from time to time, every single day this hobby is growing. The rate of growth cannot quantify. That's something, though, that in these pieces that they're failing to acknowledge is we have a hobby that's on the upswing. And so products are also on the upswing. As long as those two continue to grow, it'll probably be okay. And even if the growth gets stagnant, then this thing over here, the product side, will take care of itself via the market. Products that aren't that great will probably fall off, and that's okay. Now let's get to BST sales. It has also been suggested that BST sales hurt these businesses. In what market do we ever concern ourselves with secondary sales? Whether it be cars, knives, guns, clothes, eBay, flea market. People resell everything. You name it, they resell it. And no one says, you're putting the Ford out of business, selling used cars, knives, guns, widgets. We resell them if we don't particularly care for them. And somebody else gets a crack at it. And you know what happens? Because this has happened to me. Sometimes if you're a secondhand buyer, you go, oh man, this is great. This happened to me with Glock. I was absolutely against Glock, a firearm. Didn't like it, plastic gun. This was way back many, many years ago. I bought one secondhand. It became my favorite service style pistol. And I bought many retail after that. Had I never bought that Glock, I may have never bought one at retail. So that's something that people are failing to acknowledge. Additionally, this gives other people a chance to use these products who may have never used them otherwise. The first artisan soaps that I bought were secondhand. And it turned me on to artisan soaps. And after that, I just started buying them. Now what remains in my den from BST is a very, very small portion of the amount of soaps that I have. Most of them were purchased at retail. 98% of them, I would venture to say. I probably only have 2 or 3 soaps that were bought secondhand. But the thing I think it's also being missed, when a person buys something on a BST and then they use it and like it, and they put it up there in their shave of the day, that's an advertisement. That's a free advertisement for that artisan. How many businesses get free advertisement at the rate businesses do, or artisans do in this hobby? Every shave of the day, every product review, every mail call. How many other hobbies get this sort of free advertisement? Very few. Very few. There are some. I mean, there are other hobbies where people show their wares, but in wet shaving, it's very popular to show your wares. And what is that? That's a free advertisement for the artisan. So someone who buys something off of BST, then they like it, they show it, they talk about it, and then they tell other people about it. It's impossible to quantify the positive side and the negative. So we're just guessing when we say BST is hurting. We're guessing because there's no way to really quantify that. It's impossible because we don't know how much has been bought on a BST, how much that leads other people to buy retail. So again, it's speculation. We want to deal with facts, not speculation. And by and large, when we talk about the sky falling, it's based on speculation. And this really isn't good. This is really harmful to the hobby. Just shooting from the hip with little in the way of facts. It's not good. You need to think about it and take the complete picture in when you're thinking about this sort of things. Now, let's just assume, for you guys who think the sky is falling, let's just assume all these things are harmful and we're in jeopardy of these artisans closing up shop left and right. What can you do? Give you some tips on things you can do. The first thing you can do is, if you want a soap and it's for sale now, buy it. And if you can, buy it directly from that artisan. That helps them out. Buy it now. Don't wait. Also, buy from your favorite artisans or the ones that you feel are the best. Now, my stacks of Katie's Bubbles, Barrister and Mann, Cold River, and my top 6 that I named, the stacks of those are bigger for me than my other stacks of regular soaps. So I have, like, counted last night, 18 Katie's Bubbles, for example. Barrister and Mann, probably 14 or 15. Cold River, and stuff on down the line. I have more of those soaps than I do other soaps in my collection. It's not really a collection, but so buy more of the soaps that you really like, or from the artisans that you know to be quality artisans. If it's your best, then your stacks should should point in that direction. They should be bigger than the other stacks. So my tier 1, bigger stacks than tier 2. Follow me? So support the artisans that you think are excellent. Buy more from them. That is not to say you can't go out and buy the other new things that are popping up. But if you buy it, it's not that great, then just continue to buy from the ones that meet your expectation, both in service and product quality. Secondly, or thirdly, I can't remember where I'm at now. Make a product review, whether it be on their website, video, written, in a forum, and make it honest. Don't blow smoke up their behind. Don't blow smoke up their behind. If you get a new product and it's not that great, then review it properly. This will help separate, the ones that aren't so good from the ones that are better. So what we want to do here is we want to reward excellence and not just things that are average. And that's how you can ensure that if you're worried about sales, you can continue to see these products, assuming the sales is what's driving this. And I'm not convinced that it is. Is it more competitive? Absolutely yes. I believe it is. More people are getting into the fray in terms of soap making. It is more competitive, but also more customers are coming in. So without seeing the actual financial data, we're all speculating. So what you can do, buy your favorites first and buy them now. Review them honestly. And there's another thing. Don't get caught up in trying to think of a way to put this. Don't get caught up in following along with people suggesting that the newest and greatest thing is always the best. And everybody can fall victim to this. I have myself. The difference between me and other folks is I will look you in the eye and say, I've done it. And believe me, hot artisan of the day mania, I've been stricken by it. It's hard not to be caught up in it. They're new, they have something that's got a really great scent, maybe a great label. It's hard not to get caught up in it. I'm going to tell you. I'll give you the probably the best example of being swept up. And this is a great soap maker, by the way. Saponificio Veracino. One of my favorite soap makers. Just excellent, I think, quality, top shelf stuff. The Flying Mango, that I think was a Shave Nook. I loved that when I first opened it up. I thought it was fabulous. And then as I used it some later down the road, I thought, this isn't as good as I originally thought. So I think I was swept up in the hype and mania. And it can happen to anyone, even the best of us. It can happen to anybody. So think about it reasonably when you're doing a product review or when you're talking about it. And is it as good as you think it is? Smell it again, use it again, and decide. And so it's one of the reasons I don't speak about soaps anymore until I use it. Not that you can't tell the quality of a scent or lather, because if you lather it and put it on your face, you can tell even before the razor ever hits it. I don't care what anybody says. If you've been doing it long enough, you could feel it. If it's slick, you could take it off your face and feel if there's a post there. However, using it does give you additional context. So don't get swept up in the hot product of the day. Stick with what you know is great and stuff that you've used, and continue to buy from those folks. And as new people come along, give them a shot if you want to. And if they're great, add them to your collection and buy from them also. If something is marginal, then don't buy it. Speak with your dollar. This is really what we need to do in order to ensure the artisans that we love remain. Again, assuming that sales is really the issue, and I don't think that sales is really what drove these three out of business. Maybe one, maybe even two, but definitely not all three. And again, you won't hear this anywhere else. I haven't seen it. I haven't heard it. I haven't heard anyone discuss this. And I think it's unfair to these artisans. It's a blemish on their reputation. And it's aggravating. It's a blemish on Tim Soap, on Knockout Shaves, on Strop Shop, to assume, without any evidence, that they just went under because it wasn't selling. That unfairly tarnishes their reputation based on nothing. You don't even know. And so don't do that. Don't paint the worst possible scenario in the absence of facts. Speak to what you know about. Support them if you want to. Buy from them. Give honest reviews. Stop blowing smoke up these artisans and vendors' behinds. Don't follow along. Don't allow yourself to be duped by this high-end stuff that in many cases doesn't work any better than the artisan stuff. But yet people will tell you it does. And sometimes it does, but not always. Don't be duped. Give the people that you appreciate your business, but that doesn't mean you exclude everyone else. If I hadn't tried something new, I would have never discovered Cold River. I would have never discovered Mickey Lee. Keep in mind, Mickey Lee hadn't been around that long, a couple years now. What if we said, you know what, I'm only using Katie's Bubbles, Barrister Man, Mike's, and Cold River. That's it. I would have never discovered Mickey Lee, which is a very good soap. It came in my second tier, but let me tell you, it is on the up. Is that fair to Mickey Lee? No. Now, you can spend your dollar any way you want to. But keep in mind, you're a consumer. And what you're trying to get is the best possible bang for your buck, in my estimation. And so, when these new soap makers come along, don't shun them. Just try them. And if it's not that great, don't buy it. I'll give you another example. Sterling Soaps in my budget tier. One of the best soaps you can buy when you consider the cost. It is phenomenal price per ounce, I think. I tried Sterling a number of times. I didn't like the off-putting scent. I just did not like it. And I could have just hung it up and went, I'm not buying it anymore. But people kept talking about it. And this is something that the people are failing to mention. When people continue to talk about a soap, even though you may not like it, it means something. It got me to buy it again and again. I think it was my third or fourth round of buying before they had worked on that side odor issue. They'd also improved their container, and then bam, I had discovered a great soap. I could have easily just said, I'm not fooling with it, it's not worth my time. But you know what? I figured if people are talking about it, there's got to be something to this. And there was. And so it opened up a great budget soap. And I'm proud of that I continued to try. So I just didn't slam the door in their face. So these are people too, but they're selling products. So you got to keep both things in mind. And what I'm trying to say there is, just buy whatever your conscience allows. For me, I'm going to try new things, but I'm going to stick with buying from my top 6 and my budget tier that I really like, more so than new stuff. I will try new stuff. In fact, some new stuff coming up. Some very, very good new artisans. One that I discovered that I'm going to forget the name of. I think it's Sapona DePaula or something like that. Man, based on the first use, I love it. And I bought more. And it was based on that first use. Maybe it will crawl in to my rotation. Most likely will. But what if I had said, you know what, I only want Katie's, Barrister Man. I'd be missing out on that soap maker. Great labels. Boy, the first one I tried was outstanding. I'm happy about that. So as a consumer, I love it when I discover something new that I like. And who doesn't get excited about that? Who wouldn't? And it's not a slap in the face to Katie's Bubbles and Barrister Man and Mike's and Cold River and the others in my top tier. It's not a slap in their face. They're out there competing. They got a really good product, so people are going to continue to buy. but it's not a slap in their face. We're consumers, and they understand. I am friendly with some of those and friends with probably a couple of them. But even when we talk, they know I'm going to buy other stuff. They don't expect me just to buy from them. And so that's what I'm suggesting to you. I'm suggesting several things. One, stop painting the worst possible scenario based on speculation. Two, buy what you love, buy it now. Three, continue to talk about what you like, grow the hobby, and that's something that I didn't mention. Continue to help grow this hobby. And you can do that by being a decent person and being an honest person. When you see somebody new out there, take them under your wing. Help them out. Piff something to them maybe. Do something nice. If you do these things, we're going to be just fine. We're going to have plenty of shaving soap. The hobby's going to grow. There will be more artisans coming to the fray as the hobby grows. That's okay. I'm here to tell you it's okay. It's good for us. It's good for us. And I don't think Barrister and Mann and Cold River and Katie's and Mike's, and I'm forgetting the other one. I apologize off the top of my head. One of my other top tier soaps. I don't believe they're in any jeopardy of folding up shop because one new person comes into the fray. Because, again, a lot of new wet shavers are coming too. So, with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please consider this. Please consider this and don't speculate. Until I see you next time, keep them up and keep them open. Thanks for watching.